there is a push by leadership, board, CEOs, and others to say there's so much new tech, we need to take advantage of it so we're not falling behind our competitors, right? So now there is a push to say, what can this tech do? What can it help me with? And then to say, oh, now I understand. Now I can say this is relevant to my problems and my use cases. And that education, what the tech is able to do already, I feel like that's what we are trying to achieve with our group. But I do think that is still a critical piece to then enable the practitioners to say, oh, got it. Thank you. I have five interesting use cases now. Three of them are overlapping with my particular supply chain where I have problems. Like this is relevant to me. Like I want to solve that. Let me start there, right? The other two, they're great, but they're not relevant for me. I don't have problems there, right? Like that kind of a matchmaking um, is again, is to me is critical to help accelerate that process a little bit.
Makes a lot of sense. The risk I see with that, and nothing wrong with that, Florian. The risk I see with that is if I was to tell you here are the five things I can do, I am coming from the five things I know of. You might have problem 7, 8, 9 that I'm not even aware of, which may be a good fit, right? And the reason I say this is maybe it's just me, but I do think tech companies generally tend to have a limited view of real operations. So if you're going to ask me, I'm going to give you a list of five, and then you're going to say, okay, these three fit me, but there may be, like I said, a sixth, seventh, and eighth, which are bigger. So the approach I usually take to that in real client conversations is I say, hey, these are the three I can think of. That doesn't mean there may not be a higher value problem I can solve. Why don't I walk through your warehouse for a day? You do not discriminate between what you think I can do and I can do. Just tell me what bothers you there, right? Like just walk me through, and I'm doing this next week in a warehouse, this week in a manufacturing plant, and I'm still doing that even after having about we have about 30, 40 clients globally, because I still think we as a tech company understand are barely scratching the surface of what we can do. Also because what we could do a year ago, there were no VLMs. Today there are VLMs. Things that we could not solve a year ago we can, right? So anyway, long way to say.
No, that's a super important point right there that you're making, right? Like the tech is moving so fast. There's
Yep,
stuff now possible that
that
wasn't
wasn't
possible
possible.
a couple months ago, right?
Yep.
But my point is, you as the tech guy are aware of that that's now possible, and you have at least a certain knowledge around supply
Yes.
chain, right? Maybe
Yes.
limited to a warehousing
Mhm.
space. So as part of your interaction with practitioners, you now take on a role of an educator as
Mhm.
well,
Mhm.
and slash observer slash
Yep.
consultant, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And yes, we do that as well. We take it a step further and we say Assert AI is one of several technologies in the entire, end to end, and this is what you need to understand. Um, I that's why I think it's such an interesting time on how to
Yep.
approach these kinds of
Yep.
projects,
Yeah.
right? And at the end of the day, I would argue how to get started with projects, ideally small, ideally you have an ROI that comes out of that, right? And then from there you expand.
Mhm.
And if that initial project that I do with you or with somebody else may not be the super top priority of all of my issues, but it is one of my priorities, and I invite you in and you help me generate an ROI in like 3 months or 6 months or super quick, then that was successful. And now we can say, hey, what else can we do, right? Let me invite you back in. Let me show you all the other things you're doing because now I trust you, right? Like now you are a trusted partner of mine, and that is so tough in today's environment, I think, because of Gen AI opened up the opportunity for anybody to start a business and offering AI abilities, right? And so
Yep.
now what happens is, I mean, Manifest, we're 1,500 technologists, tech companies there, right? There's no practitioner has the ability to sift through all of these. And so building that trust is more important than the technology. I would argue that most of the 1,500, the tech is doable, right? The tech is there. It's about the ability to get a foot in the door, the ability to build a trusted relationship, and then implement a successful first small pilot, and then say, perfect, let's expand from there. Let's do more, right? What else can we do? And you may say, you know what? Here I see an opportunity for you. My tech is actually not able to solve this, but I know my partner over there
Yep.
could totally
Yep.
address this for you, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
so it's a different, I don't know. It's just a super interesting, it's like slightly different way of address like approaching some of these challenges. And to me, if I were an operator and you're telling me here are like three, four low-hanging fruits of things you can do, it's still my choice if I want to start there. But at least now I got it on my list,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And I want to add a couple more things to your list of use cases that you haven't mentioned yet, because I like the first one you said is in your internal operation in the four walls of the warehouse, tracking what you see, tracking what's going in and out of all of that. And then you said the secondary effect that now you can track safety hazards, you can track productivity.
Productivity.
But you guys are also known for quality, right? For
Yep.
quality
Yep.
assurance, and that I think right there is a direct ROI, very very low hanging ROI opportunity.
Yes, and I think I should have done a better job of defining the low hanging use case when I said.
Oh, good.
So in my mind, I think when you think of quality, oftentimes you think of product quality, right? But there is one of the unlocks that comes from computer vision. Just product quality, finished product quality was always big enough for people to do a lot of capex on, and that's where they did machine vision, right? A lot of machine vision actually is in product quality. The good thing with computer vision, because it's general purpose and therefore so much cheaper, right, is I can do a lot of process quality. So loading a truck right is actually a quality problem. I mean, you don't think of it as a quality problem because you think of product quality as only product quality, right? But when I say quality, I mean a lot of low-hanging fruit is in process quality. Are my people doing the things right, right? Is everything on spec, right? I'm going to take a completely different you know, example, not from manufacturing, but one of the things we do for a large chain of hospitality, sort of think of them as these guys on resorts, right? Um, does the kids entertainment shows, is it starting at 7:30 p.m.? Because that's the published. I have 20 different locations. Each of them has a published schedule which says 7:30 this is to start. Does it start at 7:30? Because if it doesn't start at 7:30, I have unhappy customers, or I have a lost revenue opportunity because at the end of that show, people buy something, right? So in that's not how you think about quality, but that is actually starting on time is a quality aspect of it, right? So I that's the dimension I would add, that there is a lot of types of quality beyond product quality that you can monitor with computer vision.
Got it. Got it. No, it totally makes sense, and I'm certainly not explaining to you your own capabilities and products, but
No,
I
no,
I,
no.
I do
Yeah,
I do
yeah,
like I like the aspect of you guys already have cameras there. What are you doing with them, right?
yep,
And that
yep,
right there should be one of the lowest hanging fruits to the. And by the way, you start using those cameras, now you can tell your CEO and your
yep,
board that you're doing AI, right?
yep,
Perfect.
yep.
Now they're happy, and now you can move on
Get
to
yes,
solving
yes.
solving all kinds of issues.
And
So
these cameras are $500. So even if you need to get 10 new cameras, that's $5,000.
exactly, exactly. It's such a low-hanging start, and then it enables you to do more, right? Like our friends from the couple others technologists in our group, right? Like that may enable you to do more robotics work down the road, right? If you have
Yep.
cameras that can help you track movements and of robots and stuff,
Yep.
or the interaction of humans with autonomous machines, there's so much more that, and it opens the doors. So.